Hey guys, welcome back. This video I'm going to be showing you guys some features on this trailer of mine that are actually, I think it's pretty neat, but you guys might be able to use some of these as well on any of your current projects that you might be having. So let me show you some stuff here. What, Bubba?
I want to tell something.
What do you want to tell him, Bubba? What do you want to tell him?
One day, Dad burnt his cup one day at Mima and Papa place.
Burnt my what?
Cup.
Oh, cup. Yeah, I burned up a coffee cup while I was out working on my trailer, putting those things on.
And
now, here, I want to start here at the front of this. This is a drop pin system here. Is simply a, I think it's like an 1 1/8", I think, drop pin that goes in here. I've been using. I've actually had this system on here for some time, and it's actually a tube that you would put into a receiver. And what I did is I took it, I ground down the corners of it real good to fit inside a 2.5-inch pipe. And in that pipe, I drilled out, I think it was at least 3 holes. Yeah, actually 4 holes. I drilled out 4 holes and ground down the paint inside there. So I could weld through the holes onto the pipe. So I welded the tube to the pipe, and then I also welded it across the face of this as well, face of the pipe. So as you can see there, I matched it down to form to the tube and welded it. This is actually pretty crappy welding, it looks like, but it holds. It's been holding. And then I stuck it inside a 3-inch pipe, and I did the same thing. But on this one, I drilled out 3 different holes and did the same thing. Welded this pipe to this one on all 3 holes, and then I also welded it across the rim here. And as you can tell, I have a pipe here for the wiring, and that goes all the way down there to the end of the pipe, and it splits off to each side for the lights. And I also have marker lights up here because I also have been having issues with people nearly not paying attention and not seeing the trailer at night. And also, as you can see, I got the chains set up. I have the chains set up here on their own little hooks. And whenever I am not using the jack, I'll take it off and put it here on top of the pipe, on top of the tongue here, and it that way it keeps it out of the way for the most part. I got a 2-ton winch, manual winch that I have here. It's an old sucker. I don't know if you can see it there. I had recently repainted that whenever I repainted the trailer, and I use it. I haven't used it yet on this, but the way I have it set up is that whenever I do go to use it, I'll hook it up to this chain here that's bolted here and here, and that way I can pull just about anything up onto this trailer that's needed. And I figure that would be a very good setup to use. As you see, I got strung out across here, all the chains to take up. And so I haven't had a chance. I was supposed to do this whenever I did the ramps. If you've seen my other videos, I had actually did a refurb on a spare tire deal. I didn't get that set up on the trailer on the back here yet, but I will eventually. But that's just where it goes for now, and I got the toolbox there, it holds my straps and so on. Remade the fenders. I have them blocked off as well there. whenever I first originally had this trailer, it was completely exposed right there. So the tires were completely exposed. These boards were actually, I put these on the same week I got the trailer, and that was 10 years ago. And what I've been doing here is taking used oil and layering it all up and down this. I do that probably 3 or 4 times a year, and it has actually cured it. It has actually keeps it from rotting out, helps it anyways. But yeah, I got multiple D-rings throughout the entire rail. I think there's 10 of them. 10, oh, not D-rings, 10 rings to use. What, Becky? What? Huh? You want up there?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me get you up there. Whoop. Here. Let me get you up there. There you go. Alright, so yeah, the rings. I put those on here as well. I put those hookups, the low points on here as well. I don't have very many of those. 3 of them each side. And then I got those in the back. These plates with holes in them. I got those on there as well. Brand new lights. As you can see, is actually, I ran all of this in 12 gauge wire just to make it a little bit easier on the system. And back here on the back to the wiring, I've got it set up in loom and in pipe. I only got it set up in loom for the corners, and then pipe for all the straight runs. And then we've got the ramps, this ramp system. This was kind of a chore to figure out, but I was able to figure it out. These here is what holds it up, braces it up once it's up. Once I have them folded up. This here is to keep it from, keep the folded part from swinging out on me while going down the road. The way I have this set up here is, this is a 3/4 inch rigid pipe, rigid conduit, and this bracket, this bracket here actually has a piece of round rod that goes inside the pipe here. That's about 3.5, 4 inches long. I don't remember exactly what the length is. It actually goes inside the pipe here on both sides. And I was able to stick it in there, and I welded it across all the way around it, and welded it to the frame. And these, whenever I unhook this, I'll be able to pull this pin out, and this bracket here swings down. It swings down so it remains out of the way, and same with those too. So you're fine. But yeah, and also here I have a center brace as well, just to kind of help support it. I probably wouldn't need it, but I got it there. And here, let me show you how this all comes together here. Let me get you set up on the camera, on the stand. What? Okay, so alright, so we gotta undo this first. Pull it out. Drop it. I'll pull these. Let me show you some details as I'm doing this. as you can see, I use these pins to brace it, to actually hold it in to the slots here, to the larger slots. I don't know how well you can see this on the camera, but it runs through the slots and actually braces it. I got the same setup. These are actually the same brackets I used down there. What? Oh yeah, I know. These are actually the same round rod that I used down there for the pipe going across. So that'll actually give you a little bit better look on it. I said just a piece of 3/4 round rod, and it slides right into that 3/4 rigid there. So I got it braced. I also had to put this in, because if I didn't, there'd be a big old hole right here. As you can tell, this is where one ends, and this is where the other one ends. So that's a perfect hole for a dolly to drop into. So I had to put this back in after I cut it out. So let me go ahead and show you. Go ahead and pull this out. I finished folding it out. So this rotates on out like that. Drops down. And what, John?
I want to middle.
I know. Then here, let me show you. What, John? Not right now. Then right here, I'll try to show you the best I can. The lighting's not the greatest, but this pin, just lift it up, stick it in. Just like that. I put the washer on just for the extra precaution. I did it on both sides. Then it holds my weight and then some. So that's right on the joint. So show you the layout of it here. See how this piece here is welded on here. This one has the round rod on both sides, up here on the top. Then here, this is a piece that actually has a hole punched out. I'll be able to see a little bit better there. But this actually has punched out to be able to match this 3/4 round rod. That's why it's able to rotate. So then the pins go in through the base of this one. Oh, let me zoom back out. The pin here, the pin here goes through the plate of this one with the hole punched out, right through here. So that way I have thick steel here, thick steel here, and I'm also going through the ramp itself. So that actually adds a lot more strength to it. Alright, get you down. Oh, there you go. Alright, so yeah, it adds a lot more strength right there. So that way there's less tension on the ramp itself. So on the first run I did this, it was wanting to flare out real bad and try to tear this galvanized steel here, and that's no good. So that's why I did that. And then on top of it all, here and here on both, here, as you can tell, there's a pipe or something there. Now there's a pipe that I welded across on both sides, on both pieces to help keep it from flaring out or flaring in. And that just to give it a little bit more strength. And I did that on both of them there. Let me see if I can show you a little bit better here. Maybe. Kinda, sorta, maybe. Oh. Yeah, right there, see? I got it welded in, whoop, on both sides. And yeah, here's a better view on those punched out pieces here. it's the punched piece, and this one out here is the piece that the round rod welds to. I got them set up to where they're going opposite directions. That way the piece of the ramp doesn't slide off from each other. So this is what it looks like, folded in. This is what it looks like folded out. And as you can see, that's why I went ahead and put that in, because there was a big old gap there. And now I ain't gonna have any issues. Now it may have affected the weight rating of it, but not by a whole lot. Cause I'm still, it'll hold everything that I'm going to be loading up onto this thing. At least by using the ramps. Cause heck, I've already had my weight plus my riding lawnmower on the ramps itself. So I know it's going to hold a pretty decent amount of weight. So these are actually rated for 500 pounds each ramp. And I'm sure it's probably very close to that, if not maybe just a tad bit more even, maybe. But I don't know the exact, I don't know exactly, so. Oh, and also I was wanting to show you while I'm at it, that these ramps will actually, let me drop this down. These ramps do slide all the way to the middle and all the way out. So they're fully functional in that manner. And oh, there is one more thing I forgot to show you. On these particular ramps, they were split right here. And what I done is I went ahead and welded it on the outside and on the inside. That way it maintained that weight, that strength right here at the joint. So that was another thing I was wanting to throw out there. That way it doesn't flare out here as well. Flare out or flare in. Just to help maintain the strength there. Okay. Oh, and these fenders, they're also actually made out of aluminum. So helps a little bit better on the weight, but not by much. These are actually thicker than what was on there, but so the weight's probably actually about the same on that, but oh well. And they're also just simply bolted on. So later on, I plan on working on the toolbox, since it's actually just simply plywood. I don't know, yeah, it's just plywood that I threw together. So I made this last year, and I'm actually surprised this lasted this long. So I eventually plan on making this out of steel, out of like a 16 or a gauge sheet metal. But I gotta come up with like $300 or something like that for material for it, and be able to throw it together and everything, have it all specifically cut and whatnot. So it's actually, I'm hoping that with some of this stuff that I showed you, you'd be able to use on your projects, or maybe, hopefully, maybe improve. But I'm not going to guarantee. I can't guarantee anything on that. But hopefully, be able to give you guys some ideas on how some of this stuff, how to be able to do some stuff for future projects, or like I said, maybe be able to improve on some stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to a video verse and. Alright, so one more thing, since I'm back inside here. It's awfully windy outside. So, but one more thing I was wanting to talk about real quick about the trailers. With really any of your trailers, even though you may only have it for a month or so, if it's yours and in your possession, actually physically yours, you should really put a tag of some sort on there. And what I mean by a tag is a configuration of numbers or letters or a combination of both, and have it somewhere hidden on the trailer itself. Say like inside the frame up underneath somewhere, or on the axle, or somewhere where it's actually hidden and you know exactly where it's at. That way you have an identifiable mark on the trailer in the case that it may get stolen, so that if and when it does get stolen and you are actually able to locate it, you can actually go ahead and get a hold of the police and say, hey, I found the location of my trailer. I can show you exactly and prove to you exactly that's my trailer, and prove it by the identifying marks on it. I said the configuration of numbers or letters or a combination of the two. That way you can be able to obtain your property back. That way it just makes it a lot simpler. And I actually have an identifying mark on the trailer as well. That way I can, if it ever does get stolen, I can reclaim it. And so I thought I'd show you that before I jumped to the video verse. So this one is in Titus chapter 1, and it is verses 15 and 16. Now, it's a little book. I mean, the book's only 3 chapters. I mean, 3 chapters. That's it. So, like I said, Titus chapter 1, verses 15 and 16. And it says, everything is pure to those whose hearts are pure, but nothing is pure to those who are corrupt and unbelieving, because their minds and consciences are corrupted. Such people claim they know God, but they deny Him by the way they live. And they are detestable and disobedient, worthless for doing anything good. And that is Titus chapter 1, verses 15 and 16. And I will see you in the next one.